Yeah, but if you think about it though, so okay, let's say Hove put him out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Around the time Hove came out in '96. Well, he
Right.
came out with Jazzo in the '80s, but
Right.
he came out in '96, Reasonable Doubt, right?
Right.
Hove got was really, really hot in the early 2000s. He was like at his pinnacle.
Right.
Blueprint, the Dynasty, like late '90s, early 2000s, right?
Mm-hmm.
New York was on their own wave. Philly came and kind of tried to hop on the wave a little bit with state property, right? Then the South had their own wave. The West had their own wave. Wasn't really nobody like the Midwest for real. Just kind of stayed to themselves. Like you had like Twister, you had Do or Die, you had who else out of the shot? This is like pre Kanye.
Do or die.
I said Do
You
or
said
Die.
do or die.
My bad,
From
Yeah,
Chicago.
so you
I
had
mean,
like
unless you say like them fools was with Twisted though. Oh no, I was finna say do or die again. What the fuck am I
You got
yeah,
saying?
like
Common,
you
you got
had
Common, Do or
uh,
die,
and then
Speed
like
Monsters.
yeah, like Detroit, you had like KDZ, Blade Icewood, but most people outside of Detroit, unless you're just really into hip hop like that, they not thinking about KDZ, Blade Icewood out of Detroit for real. You know what I'm saying?
They used to
So
have like Dayton family out of Flint. My boy Frank G from Saginaw, Michigan. He had us listening to Dayton family, and they like some old school shit, but they was like pretty much like some underground legends type shit. Cause I never heard them until I met somebody that was from their region. You know what I'm saying? But they had some shit back in the day that people that's from out there know about. You know, I wasn't on it when it came out, but the it was some cool shit, and you know, it was big out there when it came out. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, but somebody from that city had to put you on, right?
Now that's what I'm saying. There was some
Yeah,
underground legends. They
exactly.
wasn't with the masses.
Yeah, and for the most part, with the exception of like Twister or Do or Die, who had a little bit more clout, most of the artists out of the Midwest at that time were underground legends. So
Yeah.
I don't think that it would have worked well if anybody else, if Puff, if Jay, if Outcast, anybody else had come out and been like, "Oh, yo, Scarface, rap a lot." Nobody. I just don't think it would have worked if
Right.
anybody else tried to come out and be like, "Oh yeah, here go this new white rapper. He from out of Detroit."
Right.
People would have been like, "Okay."
See?
And the shit that he was rapping about, like, you're not gonna hear that shit on state property. You'll hear it. We heard it on Renegade, yeah, but Renegade wasn't even a single. If you wasn't fucking with Hove, you wasn't listening to Blueprint. You don't really know about Renegade. It
Right.
wasn't like nobody just. I don't think it would have worked if anybody else other than somebody like Dre from the West would have put them on. It just wouldn't. To me, it just wouldn't have made sense. Now that could be because Dre actually did put them on, but I just really don't see it with nobody else.
Yeah, them beats that Dre had because Eminem was like a battle rapper.
Yeah,
I think he was popping on the battle circuit, which was pretty much some underground shit too. He was popping already, but yeah, it wasn't like what we if I knew nothing about him until Dre put him in our face.
right.
You know what I'm saying? And Dre, I mean, not Dre was big before Snoop with NWA and shit, but I feel like Snoop changed the whole. Something changed when Snoop came out. Like something in the game changed, and that shit is still. Even if motherfuckers try to say that they not influenced, that shit is still prevalent. Like being that cool, laid back gangster with,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
everybody wants. They might not admit it, but everybody is trying to be death row. Everybody want a chain. Everybody wants a crew. Wants to be hard. You know what I'm saying? Snoop was the first one with the murder case, and got all his homies and shit. But I don't know. I think though that Snoop, how I put this, I look at it like this: Snoop is like Eminem's uncle. You know what I'm saying? Check me out though. Check me out though. Eminem is tight, right? He's tight. It's just like, look, Kobe is good. People argue, oh, he's one of the greatest, and they try to say, oh, he's better than Jordan. You can say that, but Jordan is still Jordan. That's still OG. You know what I'm saying? Or you could, or I'd even say like Kobe and Shaq, really, because as good as Kobe is, if he didn't have Shaq there, I'm not saying he wouldn't have still won, but you can't take credit. If it wouldn't have been for Shaq, it wouldn't have went as good as it did. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you know what? How you feel about this, Maurice?
You talking about Eminem?
Eminem and Snoop. We talking about who the bigger artist, who the bigger celebrity.
Oh, man. I think Snoop the bigger artist. I think Eminem was at the perfect place at the perfect time with the perfect people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you said with Dre, like she said with Dre, Dre the only person I think could have brought him out like that because everybody wanted to know what Dre was gonna do next. It's a lot of the Dre mystique that helped Eminem. Dre was kind of in a dormant state, and then he come back out. He'd do little beats here and there with different people, but then he ain't never had an artist under him since Snoop for real.
Mm-hmm.
And to launch out Aftermath, you need like that marquee person. You know what I'm saying? He got this unknown from pretty much nowhere, but he rap and he
Right.
got the shock value, like you saying. And his early songs got more repeat value than his newer songs. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
him can catch you with what he's saying, and if ain't nobody else saying it, that's part of the kid being MC. If nobody else saying what you saying, you gonna hook everybody else. You know what I'm saying? And these white boys ain't got no champion. They ain't had nobody since Vanilla Ice or the Beastie Boys. So it's like we can go take that market 100%, take all the white folk, and you got Drake, so you got that market. You got, like you said, you got Uncle Snoop right here. Snoop gonna put you on a couple records like "Bitch Please" Part Two. He gonna let you get off.
Mm-hmm.
You got connection to Diddy. Diddy gonna put you on this unreleased Biggie song, "Dead Wrong." You know what I'm saying? Like,
Was on that.
And I feel like
then-
Vanilla Ice was just a imitation version of MC Hammer.
yeah,
You wanted to be
And he was
Hammer,
the pop MC Hammer.
huh?
yeah,
He was the pop MC Hammer. Like
Yeah. Like he,
honestly, like you
yeah,
said before, every Death Row was the first ones that actually did it right. If you really think about it, look at Bad Boy. Biggie's dead. Craig Mack had one song and a remix. Uh, fucking Faith Evans is the only one that's going for real. Lil Kim Slick wasn't really Bad Boy anyway.
mm-hmm.
right,
Um,
She wasn't the set.
here with Mafia, if you want to keep it a buck, like
Mm-hmm.
Bad Boy, like everything else, everyone else, I think had the aesthetic. But if you really want to talk about like Cruz really putting at Rockefeller did it right.
Right.
Rockefeller definitely did it right. But I think the blueprint for it all definitely was Death Row.
right,
Rockefeller had honestly, I don't think anybody could do what Rockefeller did for the simple fact that Rockefeller had so many artists and then groups that were just like just kept putting out classic after classic after classic. You got Dipset, you got State Property,
Right.
then you got Kanye when you finally decide to give the nigga a chance. Like you
Right.
you got so many people, it's crazy, but then it all kind of just crumbled.
Right.
that's that Jay
Hold,
Z Damn Dash beef.
That Jay
hold that,
Z
hold
and
that
then
thought real quick.
was
Whoever the fifth person is, if it's not letting you in, if whoever the fifth person is, if it's not letting you in, update your app, and it should let you in after you update your app. I can't see who
oh
you are,
yeah,
but whoever you are,
somebody is
update the
definitely
app,
trying to get in.
and then y'all can continue what y'all was just saying. My fault.
But yeah, nah, what you was saying, like just all these other labels trying to model themselves after Death Row, after Rockefeller, and humbling. Look at Gucci. Fujiano locked up. Um, what's the dude from Memphis? Pooh
Big
Shiesty
Star.
locked up. The dude that just passed away, what's his Big Scar passed away. The only thing that's still standing is that girl. The one that be whispering. You know what I'm talking about?
I ain't heard of that yet.
I got one that is saying because we both got extensions. You know what I'm talking about?
Who?
Make his
Nah,
bag
I
run
know.
and then run off like it's track and field. Maybe, maybe I'm the only one.
I gotta listen to it.
Girl, I forgot her name, but nah, I do like that little song she got. That shit cold. But
Right.
yeah, he ain't got nobody else. Who else he got? And Pooh Shiesty was probably his best artist.
Mm-hmm.
If you listen to Pooh Shiesty's album, that shit goes.
Right.
I fuck with it. But all these other labels, like they're trying to build this empire, they're trying to have this dynasty, and
Right.
it's not given.
I think they ain't got the structure. It's too many rappers. You know what I'm saying? Like Death Row had Dre being that anchor. Death
Death
Row had Drake.
Row had rappers.
Say that
It,
again.
Death Row had a bunch of rappers. They just only had a couple of stars. You had Snoop, Dre, Pac. But look at everybody else that was on Death Row. You had a Dog Pound. You
Yeah.
had Michelle A. You had Jewel. You had Danny
Right.
Boy. You
Right.
had who else?
I feel like so when Death Row was out and they had all them artists, so like I ain't gonna lie, I was a big fan of Death Row growing up. So we looked at Death Row like this, the same way we looked at No Limit. We couldn't wait for them to drop all of their artists. So as soon as somebody
Back.
dropped, we was on all of that shit. Anybody, and then not even that, like anybody from Long Beach. You ain't even got to be with Death Row. You from Long Beach? I want to hear what the fuck you got to say. When Dog Pound came out, we was on that shit. When motherfucking when Nate Dogg came out, which they pushed him back, but we was on that shit. When Warren G came out, and Warren G actually came out on Def Jam, but you can't separate Warren G from Snoop because they came
That's
out
his cousin.
right. No. Warren G and Dre is step brothers.
Step
Snoop
brother.
and
Yeah,
Daz is cousins. Snoop Daz and RBX is all cousins.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? But Warren G and Snoop and Nate Dogg is best friends. Group 213.
On three.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's like whenever they came with something, then it's like you couldn't help but to go out and see what it was. What's up, James?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Man, it's going
Hi.
good, man. You know, yeah, man. We gonna backtrack a little bit. I know my boy James want to chime in, man, on the we was kind of piggybacking off of the Eminem and Snoop. We all kind of gave our how we felt. How do you feel? Who's the bigger artist, bigger celebrity?
Biggest celebrity overall? Like,
Yeah,
I mean that's I mean I think when I saw that post online, I think that's what people like. If we're just talking about rap, I think I think you definitely have to look at Snoop Dogg in regards to that. Celebrity overall, who's probably done the most? Eminem has probably done more overall. He has done more movies, so he's done a lot more of the acting. He has done more soundtracks for different movies. He has more record releases. He also has twice as many awards as Snoop Dogg. But once again, you're. I feel like when you're comparing Eminem and Snoop Dogg, you're kind of also comparing apples and oranges. They're two totally different people for two totally different reasons famous. It's like, you know, Eminem, in my opinion, was like the Jackie Robinson of rap. He broke a color barrier at that time to sit there and allow for, in the future, other people to come into that, if that makes sense.
so you think that Eminem has acted in more movies than Snoop?
He has been a part of 37 different movies, if I remember correctly, if you include soundtracks as well as I think he's only acted in two movies that I know of, but I know he's done a lot of soundtracks. He did like 13 soundtracks for different the Spider-Man and the Marvel series, and Venom, as well as um, I think he also did a couple more for Alpha Dog and a few other movies. I know he's been on a lot of movie tracks on scores. I know Snoop Dogg's done a lot more movies, but I believe a lot of his movies are also self-produced movies. Because let's
Mm.
see here.
Well, I don't know. Snoop
See?
Snoop, I
Snoop
don't
been
know
in a
who's
lot of
been on
movies.
more soundtracks, but Snoop, I think Snoop definitely acted a
Yeah.
lot more than and that's why I say as far as a bigger celebrity, I think Snoop's acted more, but I know Snoop's done a lot of soundtracks too. I think the type of music he make, some of his music, because some of his stuff goes all the way over to the pop side.
Yeah.
And so and I think sometimes his soundtrack songs go bigger because they go to that pop side.
I mean, if you're talking about overall, like I said at the very beginning, I mean, I would definitely agree that I believe that Snoop Dogg overall is probably going to be the bigger side of that argument. But at the same time, I think removing the, I mean, like I said in my post when I commented on that, I bet if you asked Snoop Dogg and Eminem sitting in the same room, they would both turn around and respect each other for it, for what each of them has done. I don't think one would sit there and say I'm better than you or not because they've both done something completely different in a sense.
Okay.
Okay.